Cam's a friend of all of ours. Cameron hired John Harbaugh for his first really good job when Cam was the head coach at Indiana. So imagine that relationship. And John decides to fire him, you know, which was startling. And John told me, John's office is here, and the door to Cam's office is maybe that television right there, where the Minnesota-Illinois game. And so he said that walk, it was 5:30 the Monday morning after we lost in overtime to the Redskins. John told me that was the longest walk he ever had in his life. And he went, and what made it worse, Cam's door was closed because Cam was looking at some video from the day before. So he knocked on the door and he fired his friend. But clearly, Joe was a better quarterback when Cam was out of the building. And players flourished. Let's use Anquan Bolden. What was Anquan Bolden in Cam's offense? We didn't throw to him because he couldn't separate. You know, Cam wants separation. You know, so here's Anquan, who we're paying $6 million a year, you know, and we're saying, how come he never gets the ball? And Cam will say, well, he's never open. That's why. Now Jim Caldwell comes in and says, you know, that guy's the best rebounder in the NFL. Just throw it and let him rebound. And then Anquan goes on this run. Now, you'd rather have a receiver that separates, but Jim Caldwell made a huge, huge impact on what we did and a significant impact on Joe Flacco. You know, and it's a good observation. And sadly, for Cam, you know, it just wasn't working. The players tuned him out. John read that. You know, he talked for weeks to Ozzie about it. And had we won the Redskin games, would he have done it? Even John's not sure. But after the loss, he decided to do that, and difficult thing to do. Imagine Cam Cameron. I had a son who's a junior at Loyola who's starting on the basketball team. We're playing on the basketball team, was the backup quarterback. He's got a daughter at a school here, another son. Just had a son who's a freshman up at Fordham University. Now you're publicly Cameron fired. All of a sudden, he went from working 16 hours a day to being at home by 6:30 the next morning.